Hey, do you need wallpaper? Go to wallpaperboulevard.com. Give them my name, tell them Spencer Colgan sent you, and they'll be sure to give you 10% off at checkout. Check it out. Tell them I said hello. They have a tremendous selection. Don't shop anywhere else until you've checked out www.wallpaperboulevard.com. We're in a 120-year-old mansion in South Tampa. Before I show you the mural, let me show you the ceilings. If any of you folks live in an older home, this was the way plaster and lath corners were made. And those craftsmen did this by hand. All by hand. And one of the things that you'll notice is that this radial corner, if we can call it a corner, is not consistent in its curvature here to here. And if you look really close, you can see it. Especially in the center of your screen, if you look, you can see that there's more plaster there than there is over here. Okay, some people call this old house charm. If someone asks you to hang wall covering on this type of a ceiling, and the wall covering is supposed to cover these radial curves, then you'll wind up with something like this. Now, I'm not done with it. I have the material up. And the product that I've hung is one of the finest materials on the market. Very, very high quality material. Now, what problems may you encounter on radial corners? Knowing what I just said outside, you can now understand why, as paper hangers, we cut corners, inside corners. If I were to hang paper here and here, we cut the corner so that this sheet is plumb, because this corner is not straight, nor is it perfectly 90 everywhere. With that in mind, now consider a radial curve. If I have more wall here, more plaster here, if the craftsman made it a little bit thicker here and less thick here, I'm going to have more length here than here. Because if I have more plaster here, my sheet will be a little longer here. And then if my wall covering goes up here to fill in the corner, because his trowel was a little bit more firm on the radius, then my wall covering will go up and I'll be shorter over here, which will make a straight sheet of wallpaper do this, which will now send my edge over here this way instead of straight. And the manifestation of this type of phenomenon will result in this. Wall covering that will not meet up and will pull away from the radius. This is exactly what happened here. I had more wall here and less here. And so when my wallpaper filled the wall there, and it was demanding more wallpaper here, I had an air pocket. No matter what I did to push the wall covering up into that radius, the tension or the torque created by the contour of the wall, the radius, and the ceiling exacted pressure on the wall covering, demanding more wall covering here, less here, manifesting itself in a shorter sheet here and longer here. And so, because there was an air pocket, which is unacceptable, I sliced the corner in order to give yield to the wall curvature. Wallpaper must yield to the wall. If it doesn't, you'll wind up with an inexcusable air pocket. Now, this is a beautiful mural, right? Surely we can fill that in with paint, right? Not a big deal. Not a big deal. But don't think you're going to get wall covering to match up on a radial corner. Now, that's nothing compared to this. The craftsman who did this side, I suspect, was working with the guy who did this side. And this guy was better at it. This guy was better at it. But the fellow who did this side was not consistent with his corner here. He wasn't consistent. And so we have a nearly perfect curvature here. And then he starts making it more where he puts more pressure onto the curve, forcing less plaster here. Just picture cutting open a pipe. Think in your mind of a pipe cut in half. Think about how perfect it is, how round and consistent the radius is from the opening of the pipe to the end of it. Well, if you were to make a pipe the way this curvature was made, you would have a pipe that looks something like this instead of this. Right? You understand it, but you can't see it. We're almost 11 feet away. I mean, from the ground. But this is 11 feet high. Your eye can't see this. Can't see it at all. That curve looks perfect. It really does. But it's not perfect. I mean, it's handmade, right? So as he takes his trowel here, now he's putting more pressure here, taking my corner away, forcing my wallpaper. If it's going to meet here, it needs more plaster. If you were to fix this, and you said, let's fix the ceiling, you would put more plaster in this corner and bring the curvature out toward the camera. This way, the wallpaper wouldn't be forced to go that way, but it would have enough wall to stay here and wouldn't have to have been cut. If I didn't cut this corner here, fine. This would not meet up. This would not meet up. This seam here, this is a seam. And so now what do we do to fix this? Well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So the first thing that I'll do is trim this piece here. And the way I'll do it is I'll measure from here up to some point up here consistently, so at least I can get a semblance of a horizontal line. Very difficult to put a level on this. I could, but it starts curving here, and from that corner, about 7 inches to the right of it. So I think I'm going to go with this. The next thing I'm going to do is build up the edge. I don't like how that edge looks. Let me bring you in closer. There's a considerable gap here. I don't expect paste to hold it down over the years. So let me put some caulk in there. I'm using clear caulk. And I'm going to work that into my edge. I'll clean it up. Now it'll dry clear, but I intend to paint it. Yes. It'll dry transparent. This way I can paint this color onto my mural. And now you can see that the edges are taking a much cleaner appearance, right? And I finish it off with a nice microfiber damp, of course, right into that corner, getting the excess off of the mural and just building up that edge. And now I'll take this paint and bring it right onto my mural, about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, now for this, you're going to need the millimeter of wall covering. So you can't put paint in here. So we need this. So I went to the other, a scrap piece of the mural, and I found where this piece meets up. So I'm going to try to fill it in here. Okay? So we took another piece from the scrap and put it on top of our broken mural. Now, as you know, it's not going to meet up perfectly because we have a gap here. But we're sure going to try to make it match where we need it, okay? And if you look close, you can see the impression the gap is making, so we know where to cut it. Okay? We're gonna double cut this with a single edge blade and try to use a new piece in here. All right, you'll see that the middle piece is staying, right? So that's our new piece. Moral of the story, tell your customer, paint your ceiling. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. Kidding. Okay, there's our new piece. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad, look. Okay. Not too bad. Let's set this aside and pull off the underlap. Okay. This is a nail biter. You know what kills me? I put all the time into the videos, you know? Takes time to make them. A lot of sacrifice too. Teaching people what you love to do. I will get a bunch of people. Oh, I love your videos. 5 out of 100 will give it a thumbs up. Okay. There's a lot of things you can do to repair. Like, let's just say in your corners, it's all bumpy. You know what you can do? I'm not gonna do it here, I don't need to do it. Put a bunch of perforations in your mural and plaster right over it. Treat it like a wall. If you're good at what you do, plaster right over it, sand it, prime it, reproduce the color on your mural. Let's put our new piece in. Okay. Okay, let's clean this up and make it flat. Now we gotta get our colors out and make this look good, okay? What do you guys think? Okay, we got our caulk drying. We're gonna paint that before we leave. Now there's our patch piece from here over. So again, we have another sheet in my hand that's gonna go right over here. Let me get that on the wall. Okay, so we have a piece on. Again, we see the impression through which we have to cut. And this is a little more difficult than that one. So let's do it. That doesn't fit in. Okay, so we're at nearly the last strip. I drew a leaf here. And boy, am I getting sick and tired of this. But I'll get a light on, and I'm almost done. And I'm hoping you like it. I'm hoping you like it. Now, I went to the other sheet and I found a piece that matches with this one. Okay? Almost done. As you can see, it works. It works. Not easy, time consuming, but if you're a paper hanger, you learn how to fix things that don't look right. tree there. Happy little tree. So we got the job done. I didn't talk a lot in the video. It was very stressful getting this right. So let me show you. I hope you like it. You can't do this with every single type of wallpaper. This happens to be high quality, very porous paper. And you can paint it. If you were to do this to a vinyl, you'd have to match the sheen and the paint may flash on you. Your best bet, if you're getting a mural, get matte finish so you can do this to it. Let's take a look. Yes, I'm lying on the floor. Yeah, that's my sponge. For those of you who are overly astute. Yeah, I messed up. Right there. We wrapped it up, over, and down. Not bad, huh? Can I be honest with you? I kind of surprised myself. And 2 weeks ago, I hung this in the bathroom right outside of this. Now this wall covering is the sister paper to this. This wallpaper is this wallpaper without the snakes. It's just that the manufacturer went like this on their screen and opened this one up to this. You can see that the flowers are much bigger. Can somebody just say, I mean, I hate to ask you, just in case you were thinking of a word, can you just say magnificent? If you don't mind, I appreciate it.